After a grueling week without Premier League action, match week 8 came and went with goals galore. Salah continued his form, as did Liverpool, while continuing their search forward for the title, proving everyone who had written them off earlier on in the season quite wrong. The title race is set to be a three-way tie, as Manchester United's inconsistency seems to be their own downfall. On the other end of the table, it seems Norwich is destined for relegation once again, as the teams above them just seem to race off. Anyway, here's the overview. Watford against Liverpool saw no Fabinho or Alisson, as no Brazilian players could play due to their involvement internationally. But it was no worry, as Liverpool completely battered the Hornets 5-0, with Mane bagging, Salah scoring another sensational goal, and Firmino hitting a hat-trick upon his return to the starting 11. The Reds completely overwhelmed Watford, with 77% possession and 19 shots. Liverpool now sits second in the league, 1 point behind Chelsea, but it seems at current form, there isn't a side in the world that can stop Salah from scoring. His goal against Man City was good, and this gives it a run for its money, as he is now tying Jamie Vardy with the most goals scored in the league this season at 7. Southampton against Leeds saw Armando Broja, the Chelsea loanee, score his first goal for the club on his first start. It came from a counter-attack in their box, and a composed finish from a Redmond pass granted them a 1-0 win against Leeds, who were without men like Bamford and Raphinha, the latter being unavailable due to his call-out to resume. Norwich gained another point as they drew 0-0 against Brighton, despite 26 shots in total from both sides. Some would argue that Brighton should have been given a penalty after a challenge from Kroll on Mopoy in the box saw him get none of the ball, but sent the striker hurdling. Josh Sargent couldn't capitalise on Sanchez's mistake, as his casual shot in the box didn't have nearly enough power, and Shane Duffy managed to sweep his shot away. If only the striker had managed a bit more power, then it would most likely have gone in, and you can't be making those mistakes when you're bottom of the league. Leicester City v Man United was a thriller, as the Foxes managed a 4-2 win over the Red Devils that places a huge question over Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's future. He has one of the best squads in Europe, yet he has nothing to show for it. The game started with Mason Greenwood scoring a long-range goal, adding to his tally of 4 for the season. Tielemans in the 31st scored another massive goal after a Maguire horror, and there was non-stop action throughout the match until Soyuncu scored a tap-in from a corner. 3 minutes later, marking his first minutes as a Man United player this season, Rashford scored the equaliser to make it 2-2, and the match was set for a dramatic finish. Yet Man United conceded merely 15 seconds after kickoff, as Vardy scored an outside-the-foot shot, and then Daka scored his first for the club in the 91st. Yes, they were without their main man, Varane, at the back, but the performance itself was horrific. They had an expected goals of 0.03. Both goals came from moments of brilliance from the players themselves. In a season where they should be challenging for the title, they already sit 5 points behind the top. Is it over for them before it even started? On the flip side, Leicester's win acts as a confidence boost, as their start to the season has not been the greatest. But it doesn't end there for the Red Devils, as their severe fixtures to follow include teams like Atalanta, Liverpool, Spurs, Atalanta again, and then Manchester City. Will Ole Gunnar Solskjaer have his job at the end of all that? Let me know in the comment sections down below. Aston Villa against Wolves was another dramatic goal fest. The first half ended 0-0, but Ings scored early in the first half, and John McGinn added to his goal contribution with a goal for himself from outside the box. What seemed like a lost cause in the 70th minute produced an emotional rollercoaster as Roman Saiz tapped in a Podence cross in the 80th minute. From one goal to another 5 minutes later, as Cody managed to get in a scrappy goal, but it did not finish there. Ruben Neves scored in the 95th minute to break the Lions' hearts, with a massive deflection helping its way in. The goalkeeper went one way and the ball went the other, as Wolves successfully completed a 3-goal comeback in 15 minutes. After a rocky start to the season, Bruno Lage's men seem to be on the up with 9 points from their last 3 games, while Aston Villa see themselves with only 3 from their last 3 games. A win against Man United granted the 3 points. Man City against Burnley saw a 2-0 win for the home side, with goals for Bernardo Silva and De Bruyne. Pep Guardiola's men sit in third, with fluctuating form seeing them 2 points below Chelsea, league leaders at the moment. Talking about the league leaders, Brentford against Chelsea saw the Blues' incredible effort go to waste, as a Chilwell goal meant that the Blues won 1-0. The last 20 minutes of the match was one-way traffic, and if not for Mendy's heroics, the game would have ended much differently. While Chelsea only managed a single shot on target that produced the goal, Brentford managed 7, but luck was just not on their side. It's quite unfortunate because the start the Bees have made to this season has been superb. In Merseyside, Everton took on West Ham, and it was a pretty uneventful first half that ended 0-0. But Ogbonna headed in a corner to give the Hammers a 1-0 win that sees them in 7th place. St James's Park this week marked the beginning of a new era, and Steve Bruce, who many thought would not be the manager in this match, but he produced a team sheet for the Magpies that saw their number 9 Callum Wilson starting once again. And it didn't take long for him to score, as he headed in a delicious Manquillo cross within the opening 3 minutes. However, the lead didn't last long, as goals from Ndombele, first of the season from Harry Kane, and Son gave Spurs a 3-1 lead. Jonjo Shelvey was sent off late in the second half, and an Eric Dier own goal in the 89th minute gave the Toons some hope, but it meant nothing in the end, as they lost 3-2 to Nuno's men. Right now, in the table, Spurs sit in 5th place, on level points with 4th, and it's safe to say they are in a decent position going forward. Newcastle's new owners have their work cut out for them, as their team sits second to last. This is not the ideal position they wanted to be in at the start of their takeover, but that's what the money is for. Crystal Palace against Arsenal saw Vieira against his former team. Aubameyang put the Gunners in front early on until Arsenal returned back to their old selves, as Partey was dispossessed and Benteke punched them. And the nightmare continued for Arsenal, as their club legend's recent signing, Odsonne Edouard, absolutely thumped the roof of the goal with his 3rd goal of the season, and what a finish it was. Tierney came closest, although he hit the crossbar, and, right at the death, Vieira's party was spoiled as Lacazette managed a goal short range to ensure both sides shared the points in a 2-2 draw. This week in the Champions League, there are some massive matches and teams that need results. Atletico Madrid play Liverpool at home, and the home side play this match as their first since beating Barcelona 2.5 weeks ago in La Liga. Their first game in a while against an informal Liverpool side who have just played brilliantly is risky, so I think Liverpool will beat them 3-1. Ajax against Dortmund is another mammoth match, and I see the two sides drawing 2-2. PSG welcome RB Leipzig, and with all the Germans being somewhat out of form, I'm going for an upset in which Pochettino's men will lose 1-0. I also think Barcelona will get their first victory in the Champions League against Dynamo Kiev, as I think they will win 2-0. I'm not sure what effect this will have long term in their Champions League campaign, but we'll have to wait and see. What a return to football this week was, and I'm sure you all enjoyed it as much as I did. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as I'm nearly at 50. Anyway, with that being said, don't forget to tune in to my Champions League roundup from Matchday 2, and until next time, goodbye.